Salam keluarga Malaysia. Yang berhormat Tengku Datuk Seri Utama Zafrul Tengku Abdul Aziz, Finance Minister of Malaysia. Yang berbahagia Tan Sri Ahmad Badri Muhammad Zahir, Chairman of the Employees Provident Fund Board. Yang berbahagia Datuk Seri Amir Hamzah Azizan, Chief Executive Officer of the Employees Provident Fund. Dearest keluarga Malaysia. Syukur Alhamdulillah, we are given the opportunity to be here today at the International Social Wellbeing Conference ISWC 2021, jointly organized by the Employees Provident Fund of Malaysia, EPF, the Ministry of Finance, MOF, by Prime Minister's Office, Implementation and Coordination Unit, and the International Social Security Association, ISSA. It is a pleasure to warmly welcome all esteemed delegates and participants to this year's ISWC theme, The New Narrative, Turning the Tide on Inequality. Allow me to also express my heartfelt thanks and congratulations to the organizing committee to making the ISWC 2021 a reality. Dearest keluarga Malaysia, the past 2 years have been tough on all of us. The COVID-19 pandemic costed people their jobs and livelihoods. This has resulted in far-reaching social and economic consequences to the country. Absolute poverty increased from 5.6% in 2019 to 8.4% in 2020, while relative poverty rose to 16.9% with a 10.3% decrease in mean monthly household gross income from 7,901 ringgit in 2019 to 7,089 ringgit in 2020. Hardcore poverty is also estimated to increase from 0.4% in 2019, involving 27,200 households, to 1%, involving 78,000 households. Households' income was also greatly impacted. About 20% of M40 households with income between 4,850 ringgit and 10,959 ringgit slid into the B40 category, while 12.8% of T20 households shifted into M40. Unemployment rate during the first lockdown last year increased to 5.3%, the highest in 27 years since 1993. Thankfully, it has progressively receded to 4.6% in August 2021. Based on the Economic Outlook 2022 report published by MOF, the unemployment rate is anticipated to return to 4% in 2022. Inshallah, the gradual normalization of economic activities to pre-pandemic level would help stimulate strong labor demand and fast-track recovery in the labor market. Dearest keluarga Malaysia, unemployment is a long-term challenge associated with the range of health and social problems such as poor physical health and well-being. The government is very concerned about the rakyat's well-being and have taken measures to tackle it. Since the COVID-19 struck, we quickly learned that social protection system, including social assistance, social insurance, and labor market policies can act as automatic stabilizer stabilizers during a crisis, as well as essential safety nets for poor and vulnerable citizens. The 12 Malaysian plans focus on rakyat's welfare, social protection, and people-centered projects in light of COVID-19 aims to rejuvenate Malaysia's socio-economic development for long-term sustainability and prosperity and the foundation of improving the well-being of the rakyat. This will be another major stepping stone for Malaysia to move closer to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals SDG 2030 agenda. We aim to fulfill one of the national development priorities by adopting the whole-of-nation approach with the principle of leaving no one behind. This is further supported by the recently launched Keluarga Malaysia concept, which is based on three main values: inclusivity, common ground, and contentment. As Keluarga Malaysia, everyone should work together to establish a stronger social support system towards greater resiliency, especially for poor and vulnerable groups. If there is one thing we can take solace on from this crisis, is the nation's ability to do things the Malaysian way. After all, a Malaysian crisis requires a Malaysian solution. The Malaysian solution in this context is the government's commitment to strengthen and increase research activities under the Malaysia Social Protection Council, MySPC. This council serves as a centralized coordinating body to develop a comprehensive national social security approach, which is based on life cycle needs, encompasses effective and efficient policies, and is backed by credible, broad-based, inclusive infrastructure and legal framework. Meanwhile, the government has increased allocation and incentive for numerous social protection programs, including Bantuan Keluarga Malaysia, IKASih, and more. These social protection initiatives are further enhanced in the recent Budget 2022 announcement. We remain committed to eradicate poverty through greater collaboration within government agencies and statutory bodies. This will aid in unlocking income potential, increase household productivity, and create a more productive workforce. Dearest Keluarga Malaysia, policymakers must recognize the role of social protection in promoting social well-being by crafting effective policies that consider voices of the rakyat. New and innovative social protection solutions are urgently required. It is a strike, a balance between the provision of safety nets, promote financial resilience, and human capital development. More collaborative efforts by the public and private sectors are also vital to form strong synergies between social security organizations, relevant stakeholders, and policymakers. Quick responses are required to uplift the community, promote rights, and bridge social protection gaps in the country, especially for informal economy workers, housewives, or unpaid family workers such as caregivers. Dearest Keluarga Malaysia, we have reached a pivotal moment to harness social and economic opportunities to address and manage inequality levels, which is why the theme for this year's ISWC event, the new narrative turning the tide on inequality is fitting. I hope this conference will be a useful platform for fruitful exchanges of constructive ideas, knowledge, and best practices regarding the social protection ecosystem. It is with great pleasure that I officially declare the ISWC 2021 the new narrative, turning the tide on inequality, open. Thank you and stay safe. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
We'd like to think that every person is born free and equal. We all deserve